Today I'm staying in the world's weirdest hotel that is literally a ruin. The rules are simple: do not leave no matter how weird it is, and I can only eat foods that are weird. And right now I'm arriving at the world's weirdest hotel, and as you can see, it doesn't look like an actual hotel, but my expectations are high because despite it being a room with almost no decoration, this hotel is one of the best rated hotels in the town, and it's kind of cheap compared to the others. So while I wait to check in, let me show you around. And right away you will notice the hotel is surrounded by tons of similar rooms, and if you open up the window hoping you see any scenery, you'll be greeted by this other abandoned building, and at night it looks legit spooky. Maybe it used to be a haunted conjuring house or something, and it doesn't help that they added so many purple lights in the hallway to be extra scary. But if you look up, you notice only part of the building is the actual hotel, with the rest being seemingly abandoned and covered with spooky plants. But then I decided to Google the history of this building, and it turns out more than 70 years ago another hotel used to be here. But then as the economy got really bad in the following decade, it was eventually abandoned until someone bought it recently, and according to one article spent over 1.8 million bucks to refurbish the building, which led me thinking, wow, the housing market is insane. Even the building with no roof would cost that much. But the hole in the ceiling is actually a clever design, because back in the days of no air conditioning, they used this to help cool down the place in hot summer days. But the hole led all the way down to this tiny garden, which I accidentally stayed for too long and ended up donating my blood to the mosquito. But then the staff told me they can give me free coffee, which God knows I really needed it. I almost fell asleep on this pillow waiting for my room. Since it's an eco-friendly hotel, you will need to bring your own cup to the coffee counter, and they even dedicated a whole corner of the lobby to coffee drinking, so you can put your coffee on this unique wooden table and try to pet the horse in the painting. But now I finally got my key card, so let's go check out the room. And right away I was shocked by how normal it looked, because the building was old. The room was smaller than most hotel rooms, but the TV was relatively big, which I used it to watch my video where I trained my cat to become a superhero. It was funny, maybe you'll like it too. But let me show you the absolute coolest thing in the room, which is this really awkward pillar. It goes all the way up to the ceiling, and it's a great reminder in case you forgot you're staying at the ruin. I noticed I've owned water pipe hose and decided to give them a boost. But what do you do with the pillar? It's literally blocking the whole room. I don't want to cross over it every time I want to go anywhere, so I tried petting it and kindly telling it to go away. But that didn't work, so next I tried to become its friend. Something must have worked because it now allowed me to use it for yoga. Hey, let's do a test to see how fast I can fall asleep on it, because who needs a bed when you have a pillar? And no, it wasn't comfortable at all. But then I realized they gave me 2 AC controllers for no reason, and there are tons of other random stuff on the table, like this unknown liquid in the bottle, some Q-tips, a really long pink box, and some shower caps. Does any of you really use the shower caps in the hotel? Tell us in the comments. But inside the closet I found this really heavy bag, and at first I thought someone forgot their bag, but it had a weird logo, so I decided to find out what's inside. And right away a pair of slippers came out. Well, actually 2 pairs. Maybe the hotel believed I have 4 legs, but I figured out why the bag was heavy. You see, this hair dryer may not look like much, but it's heavy. I can probably use it for bicep curl. The bathroom was surprisingly big and spacey, which I could see myself sleeping here instead of the actual room. And no, it wasn't comfortable. But I found this empty shelf and decided to put the one spare AC controller onto it to help it become the loneliest controller ever. And the bedroom was literally a wooden box with light shooting out. The wall was surprisingly solid, and there's even a hidden compartment above the bed, which I'm too afraid to investigate. And if the bed looked messy, it's because I tried to fly onto it from the other side of the room, which I sadly failed. But then I found this pretty unique temple next to a hotel and decided to take a break, but only to find myself surrounded by those tiny stone tigers. But I'm not sure if they're supposed to look like they wear makeup. There's also a picture of Barack Obama telling me his food is delicious or something. But sadly the restaurant was closed, so maybe I'll come back again because he seemed to love it. But next we're going to a night market to find the weirdest food, and right away I knew we were going to find something crazy because I found this claw machine for sausages. Yes, this thing allows you to catch sausages, and it only takes like 30 cents for each try. And the other machines let you get tiny wooden chairs. Which one do you want more, the sausage one or this one? But they're far from the weirdest because I then found a machine where it had too many prices in it. You can't even see the claw. How do we even use it? I don't think the claw can even move. But I eventually found this restaurant that gave me tomato fried rice, which I believe they mixed tomato sauce with normal fried rice, and this cake looking thing and the mysterious object next to it, which turned out to be a century egg, probably because it looks like it's been put there for centuries. I heard they had to mix it with stuffs like rice and salt for several weeks or even months until it became dark gray. And no, it doesn't taste like eggs at all. It's also pretty oily, so you can slide it back and forth on the plate. But that was definitely one of the most unusual meal I've ever had. And on my way back I got distracted by a stray cat with big pointy ears, and then freaked out by a bridge that for some reason was glowing red in the night. Should we take a detour or just cross it? But then I bought this thing that you won't believe what it is. They call it stinky tofu because it really stinks. There's a list of stinkiest food in the world, and I believe it's in the top 3. It's big and stinky, so I really don't want to finish it, but it's also expensive expensive, so you wouldn't want to waste it either. Let me take a sip from that really weird bottle of juice that I also got. But this is not the weirdest, because in this video, I found the weirdest public arts in the world. And one of them costed over $6 million to build. If you don't believe that, it's on the video.